Just to start, as you mentioned, we're looking for guys who fit the need and from a skill set standpoint, but they also have to be cost effective to a
Mhm.
degree. Like it would be easy for us to be like, oh, the Bills need to replace Jordan Poyer. Jesse Bates, bring in Jesse Bates and
Yeah.
give him $20 million a year, whatever he's going to get. So if we're starting from a contract perspective, I think Samson Ebukam ballpark, I think a $9 million AAV is roughly safe. He's the highest priced guy of the three that I picked for the film room tonight. I think
Mhm.
he could go as low as 8 million per year and as high potentially as 11 and a half if somebody really gives them that money. So a ballpark contract for him, I'm labeling him at 3 years, 31.5 million. He's got production in this San Francisco defense. We saw some injuries to this group last year. He really functioned as the defensive end 2 and edge 2 for a lot of their years or a lot of their games last year. And this first rep here, just an example of some of the core strength that he has and some of the athleticism. He represents more of the bend athletic type of edge that I'd like to see added to the Bills. You see him get on the inside of Jake Matthews. Matthews is fully like leaning onto him. He's got that grab as Ebukam's trying to rip through. This is not a hold, as we
Nope.
saw broken down by a multitude of people after Bengals Chiefs. But
Yeah.
what I like from him, this isn't the sexiest rep, but he's able to get Mariota off the spot just because of his core strength, his athleticism to get inside Matthews, and then watch it as Matthews starts to lean on him. Like Matthews is driving, but Ebukam is pretty he's able to hold that line and force Mariota off the spot. That type of core strength,
Mhm.
that type of bend. You see the ankle flexion
Ankle
that you
flexion
just
is
highlight.
nice. Yeah.
Yep, it's a nice piece. Like this is the type of rep where it doesn't like show up as like, well, you didn't get the sack and you didn't get the hand on Mariota, but he altered the pocket because of specific skill set pieces and traits that he has that are unique to him. And it's something that, that's not present in Boogie Basham or really AJ Epinesa, even Groot to a degree, which isn't a negative, but adding somebody with a bit of a different repertoire or skill set or some God-given ability like what Ebukam shows here in this little flash is one thing that attracted me to him.
Yeah, I like that. He got across the face of the tackle, and then he seals that leverage right there with the rip. And as you said, kind of works the spot of the quarterback, and then that forces the incompletion. Really nice play there by him. Here's another one with him out wide, and then like a 7 tech here against the Falcons as well.
Yep. Part of what I lean to, so in this game against the Falcons, we know Atlanta, heavy running team. I wanted to see what he looked like playing the run. Not just from a pure pass rush standpoint and perspective. So you're always going to get these read option type of looks and full house backfields and a variety of pieces from Atlanta. What's nice on this one, he actually got burned on this earlier. He came screaming down on a keep. Mariota kept it, and Mariota busted out a big run out the back door because Ebukam came screaming down. But what you get on this time, I love how he comes down the line. You can watch him ID the mesh point and see where the ball is going to go to. So he gets inside, slants inside. He's watching it. Watch how fluid he is to avoid a Menahue coming into the backfield. He reads what's going on, quickly just slides behind it, and then makes the tackle on Mariota. So it's a nice play in a vacuum from the athleticism, the quickness, reading the mesh point and diagnosing what's going on and processing. But what's also nice is, again, he's somebody who the more I watched him, when he made a mistake early on in games, he course corrected for it later. So this was the opposite of what he did earlier. I liked seeing him address that and fix it going forward and then make a play here.
Yeah, I like that, processing drive to drive, but processing within the play too, as you said, avoiding traffic. And this is a lot to process for the defense. As you said, there's kind of like a midline read option here, but you got, this guy releasing out, this guy's creating a new gap over here, which is why you're seeing this guy spill it, Menahue spill it, and Mario will keep it and get outside. So Warner is responsible for the quarterback, but you also got this defender there. So it's a lot to process for this defense, and for him to stay in the play on this, it looks like a little run stunt to this side,
Mm-hmm.
but then scrape down the line of scrimmage and make that tackle. That was pretty stuff. And as you said, top-notch processing and learning from earlier in the game. So that was a really good rep. Is that the only 2 reps that we have here? Or did I
If
skip
we
one?
go to, that's the only 2 in that game. The other Ebochem clip is against Denver that I uploaded separately in that
All right,
Cincinnati piece.
I see it.
There you go. Bang.
There we go.
So yeah, I wanted to highlight those pieces. Those weren't like the sexiest pass rushing pieces. Well, I guess they didn't save. Go to 15 minutes and 51 seconds. if you want to go from there. I don't know why it didn't save when I shared. So these clips for Denver are more going to highlight his pass rushing ability. So you have him lined up here on the right edge, highlighted. Both of these clips, they're very similar in terms of like time range. The next one is a minute off from this play. He started to get juice from the edge in a pass rush perspective in this game. So you see him force the throw, get a little pressure on Russell Wilson on this one, but watch the bend as he gets into Garrett Bowles, who's a left tackle. He's almost perpendicular to the ground. You see that ankle flexion again. You see Bowles leaning on him. Look at the bend. Look at the flexibility. Like, this takes lower body strength. It takes core strength. It takes ankle flexion. It takes hip fluidity. You can't be stiff. His ability to get around the edge, and it's not the most technical, but it's just athleticism. It's bend, like how he's almost flat to the edge and is able to still get through Bowles and force Russell Wilson to throw this ball early, still reaches out, almost gets a hand on him. Again, just some of that juice, that natural athleticism, that skill set piece that the Bills don't currently have in their rotation.
I like that one. The next clip is, you said, a minute ahead?
16:58.
All right, let's go there.
This one is more of a technical rep. So a lot of what we've seen has been the athleticism, the bend, seeing more of the burst and kind of that, relentless mentality from him. This one is more technical. You see him use some more of a pass rush move and a plan. He set Bowles up with this throughout the game, and you're going to see the nice timing. You get a little cross chop, rips through. He also draws a hold on this play, just in case anyone is wondering. But there's that lean again. I love the timing of that chop right as Bowles brings that outside hand. So he reaches with the inside to stabilize, goes to control with the left. Ebukam chops it right down and then smoothly transitions it right into that rip, attacks that shoulder, gets through, and forces, it wasn't holding on the first play we showed against Jake Matthews in the Falcons game, but this time Ebukam works through that shoulder of Bowles so much that he turns the rip into an opportunity for Bowles to have to bring him down. This flag gets thrown. Denver gets called for a holding. So this one, again, some athleticism, some bend, but he's also pairing it with some technicality with the setup of this move and then the execution.
Yeah, I like this because, as you said, it's a nice pass rush combination. But that chop down right there, Bowles actually does a good job of withstanding it. And
Yeah.
so his arm is still kind of, his outside left arm there is kind of restricting him still. And so transitioning to the rip is money. Like, that is a great counter, because that is the only way you're going to get through that. And you see him rip to the sky. And as you said, look at him run the arc there. That's beautiful. Like,
And
that flexibility running the arc and hoop there is really nice.
Yep. And he doesn't give up. Like, when you get hands on him or you start to drive him, he just goes harder. Like, you're not gonna get an easy rep against him. Even when you have him beat, he's still gonna make you work and try to find a way to win. Like, he could have easily given up and just turned and looked for the flag, but he drove harder to make the referees throw that flag. And so you saw little glimpses, tenacity against the run, the ability to process, athleticism, bend, but then also some technicality as well. And I think the more he sees reps and gets injected into a lineup where he would be useful, I think he could potentially continue to grow as well.